What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Is that a word or is those initial? No, there's no periods, so I guess it's all one word. Okay, I'm gonna go on a limb here and hopefully I'm right. Making their debut on the channel tonight. Boy, I hope I'm right about this. We have ASP. Yes, indeed. How about that? ASP making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Java Devil, and this is actually one of Java Devil's 3 prioritized requests for the month of March for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So here you go, Java Devil. I hope you enjoy the show, man. Java Devil wanted to see me react to this song. I really hope the band's called ASP. But here's the thing, there's no periods, there's no breakup. It's literally ASP all together. So I'm gonna go with ASP. Hopefully I'm right. If I'm not, let me know in the comments. But guys, just be nice about it. You know, don't sit there and start name calling and the BS. Just say, hey, look, just a heads up, it actually is ASP. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. But I'm gonna go with ASP right now, and Java Devil wanted to see me react to this song by ASP called Will Brennen. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, really? This is that song? I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Official Tales of ASP, or ASP. I'm not sure which one it is. I'm sticking with ASP. And it has 385,000 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. ASP. Like I said, there's no periods, it's just ASP, so I'm really hoping it's ASP. If it is ASP, let me know. I'll make sure if I do these guys again, I'll make sure to call them ASP. But for right now, I'm sticking with ASP. ASP, Will Brennen live. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
bis ich mich von euch verbiege. Schon so lang tobt der Wunsch in meinem Blut. Nur einmal lass ich los, denn ich will fliegen. Super Ober wie der Phönix auf der Glut. Komm mir nicht so nah, sonst kann's geschehen, dass wir beide lichterloh in Flammen stehen. Ich will brennen, auch wenn danach nur kalte Asche übrig ist. Ich will brennen, selbst wenn du meinen Namen morgen schon vergisst. Heißt das Licht im Himmelsflug, mit dem letzten Atemzug will ich brennen. Ich will brennen, viel zu oft bestimm ich nicht mein eigenes Leben. Nur einmal.
This is so weird. Like, it's probably just me. I'm sure I'm probably the only person in the entire planet who's feeling this. Is anybody else getting like a serious, like, new wave feel, like 80s new wave feel out of this? Am I the only one? I'm telling you, I'm feeling 80s here. And I'm not talking about like hair metal 80s. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like 82 to 85, or maybe 86, like 82 to 86, that new wave rock invasion that we had. Like, I don't know if I would go as far as like The Cure. I mean, I think they're a little slower than that, a little too slow for this. But I mean, bands like, Love and Rockets, or I don't know about Depeche Mode. Maybe a little bit. But bands like that, where you have that new wave influence in the 80s. You guys know the bands I'm talking about. There's a ton of them out there. But I'm really getting an 80s vibe from this. I think it's from the drumming too. That the 2 and 4 on the snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. I'm really getting that feel. And I know the drummer's doing that because I pinpointed that right away. Also, what's happening within the guitars? You got the one guitar who's playing very staccato. He's playing these patterns that are very staccato. Well, you have the other guitar who's playing single note sustained notes. Just holding notes and sustain with this little bit of vibrato, moving around to another note. Da 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 da. But very legato playing. So you got that legato lead line over the staccato chunking, and it's very, very new wave. There are a ton of bands out there who follow that exact same formula, and that for that new wave, period from like seriously 81, 82 to about 85, 86, before hair metal really started to take over the world, unfortunately. I'm digging it. I don't know why, man, but I am digging the feel. I cannot explain that, but I am digging it. Let's keep going. See what I mean about the drumming?
Komm mir nicht so nah, sonst kann es geschehen. Was kann geschehen?
Well, the crowd knows it. A lot of pyro usage.
Es hat keinen Zweck. Sonst
Ooh, that bass. Very percussive.
Bleib mir lieber fern, weil Asset überspringt. Und weil das Fieber auch in deine Seele dringt. Fass mich nicht an, sonst kann's passieren, dass wir uns in der Hitze dieser Nacht verlieren. Hör mir nicht so nah, sonst kann's geschehen, dass wir alle lichterloh in Flammen stehen. Ich will brennen, auch wenn danach nur kalte Asche übrig ist. Ich will brennen, selbst wenn du meinen Namen morgen schon vergisst. Heißes Licht im Himmelsflug, mit dem letzten Atemzug will ich brennen. Ich will brennen.
Got a nice groove. Feels good. It's not a heavy song. I would not say it's heavy, but it's got enough edge to it. It's still rocking. So I'm digging it. I mean, vocally, very similar to, like, you know, bands like Rammstein, who you're not going to be super impressed by the vocal ability of the lead vocalist. It's just doesn't have an incredibly high range or incredibly low range. It's just a very, you know, like I said, kind of like also not just Till from Rammstein, but also Joachim from like Sabaton. They have a certain range. They have like a 2 to 2.5 octave range, and they work with it. And they take that range and they make the most of it. You know, I can't stand it. Now, I've used this analogy before, and I'm gonna use it again. I can't stand it when vocalists have this much range. You know, they have this humongous range, and they use that much of it. I'm just like, why? What you have this huge range, and that's all you're gonna use? Versus vocalists who have this much of a range, and they use that much of it. They use all of it. And it's like, I'd much rather hear that. I'm sorry, I would. I mean, you'll hear these vocalists have these impressive ranges, and they use, seriously, they have like a 5.5 to 6 octave range, and they use 3 octaves. What a waste. Meanwhile, you got guys who, and not just guys, but ladies as well, who have like a 2 to 2.5 octave, maybe 3 octave range, maybe, and they use all of it. I'm much more impressed by that. Much more impressed. And they use it on a consistent basis, which I find far more impressive. Anyway, let's keep going here. The sing-along.
Ich weiß, das geht viel lauter.
Yeah.
Ihr schönen Menschen, vielen Dank. Wir sehen uns auf Tour.
But that might have been the last song of the set. I think the drummer got away from behind his drums. Yeah, so they're taking their bows. Yeah, throw the picks into the crowd. Throw the picks, throw the drumsticks, take off the set list, throw it in the crowd. Crowd loves that stuff. Souvenirs. Yes, indeed. Free souvenirs.
More seductive than sex.
You can't say that on TV.
I can say that.
6:58. Yeah, that felt about right, actually. I mean, it didn't feel longer, but it didn't really feel shorter. It was pretty much spot on. Really isn't a whole lot to say. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was, I hope this is right. I hope it's ASP and not ASP. I'm gonna stick to my guns, though. That was ASP with Will Brennen. This was a request from Java Devil, and this was actually one of Java Devil's 3 prioritized requests for the month of March for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Java Devil. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. Really is not a whole lot to say. This is probably going to be a pretty quick review. Let's start with the score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.4. Yep, 7.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay. I could sit here and I could lie to you guys and say, oh, I loved it and it was really impressive and all this other stuff. Guys, if I were to do that, you would see right through me. So, no, I'm not going to try to fool you guys. I'm going to shoot from the hip. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. It was a really good song. I mean, it is. I mean, I can see a lot of appeal for this. It had a certain charm to it. Like, I was really getting new wave 80s vibes from this. So I'm talking about bands like, you know, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. I'm talking about bands like, you know, Love and Rockets. I'm talking about these style of bands that came from the early to mid 80s that were just, you would see, it's like every week you would hear a new band. For those of you that are familiar with KROQ, with K-Rock, you know the bands I'm talking about that you used to listen to back in the early to mid 80s, and it was just a constant influx of bands from the 80s. Like every week there'd be a new #1 hit from a new band that you had never heard of before, and here it is, you know, and then they would last for like seriously 3 or 4 days before the next band came along and erased them. You know, it was just this constant influx, and this band gave me vibes of that period. And I think it's because of the drumming and the guitar playing, both of them together. The drumming with the, you know, the kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare, kick, snare. You know, kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4. And it just really had that 80s vibe to it. And then what was happening within the guitars, the one guitar player who was chunking away with the other guitar player who was playing the melodic lines with those sustained notes at the end of each run over it. And I'm just like, that really feels very 80s to me. I did kind of dig the bass player's tone, very percussive tone. I don't know how he was getting that. They never really showed the bass player once through this entire video, which I was kind of put off by, if I'm being honest with you. Especially in that breakdown section where he was literally driving the band forward. It was him. Guitars were laying out. It was the bass player doing those percussive hits on those accents, and I'm sitting there going, why don't you show him? Stop showing the guitar players who are literally standing there doing nothing, and they're not playing. You know, why don't you show the bass player who's actually playing? And they never did. And I'm just, why? What's this prejudice toward showing the bass player? Heaven forbid you show him for just 2 seconds, you know? But anyway.
Unacceptable!
Now, the sound he was getting is either one of two things. One, he was using a pick, which is more than likely the case. Number two, and it is a possibility, but I don't think he was doing this. He was slapping with his thumb. He was thumping on the thumb. It's possible he would get that percussive sound, but I mean, I get the feeling he was playing with a pick. Vocally, I talked about this during the reaction. This guy sounds like he's one of those vocalists who has a 2 to 2.5 octave range, and he uses all of it. And I can absolutely appreciate that. I got no issue with that whatsoever. It just grinds my gears to no end when I hear vocalists who have these 5 and 6 octave ranges and they use 2 of them or 3 of them at most. I'm just like, seriously? What a waste of talent. Now here's the thing, and this was a contributing factor, believe it or not, it was. The video was 6 minutes and 58 seconds long. Now, granted, about a minute of that was at the end where the guys were all taking their bows and, you know, coming to the front of the stage, so I don't count that. So, looking at where the song actually cut off at about the 5:58 to 6 minute mark, right? It felt accurate. It felt accurate. It didn't feel like it dragged on for 8 or 9 minutes. But at the same time, the time didn't fly by like it was 3 or 4 minutes either. Now, this felt accurate. It felt like about a 6 minute long song. And that's about what we had. Like I said, you caught the last like 58 seconds because that was just the band taking their bows. I don't pay attention to that. I mean, it's cool that they did. It's cool that they acknowledged the crowd and everything like that, but that had nothing to do with the song itself. But I still do appreciate it whenever bands do take their bows and show the appreciation to the crowd. Shows the respect to the crowd that the crowd is due, and I do appreciate that. But like I said, the song didn't fly by, but at the same time, it didn't drag on either. So it's, like I said, it's accurate. Overall, it's a really good song. Nothing stuck out as being amazing, but at the same time, nothing stuck out like a sore thumb either. So gotta give it to them. It's a really good song, and 7.4 I feel is a very appropriate score for the song. So yeah, we're gonna stay there. 7.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me. But if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.